Hello and welcome to this instruction video of how to use the Paneda API to monitor and control your headend system. My name is Thomas and I'm one of the lead developers at Paneda. To guide you through this, I will use a tool called Postman. Postman is a plugin to Google Chrome and it can send and receive any HTTP or HTTPS request. It's a very convenient tool to use when you're developing against a RESTful API, which our API is, and I highly recommend it when you are testing things out. So the first thing we're gonna do is try to list all the service configurations in the Paneda system. So we use of course, HTTPS. Nothing else is acceptable. You need to protect the data sent both to our system and that is returned from it. The URL to the system, API, and then service config. And we press send here. And you can see that we didn't get any because we aren't logged in. Everything in the Paneda system is protected by login. So without a valid authorization, you cannot access any information at all. And this is of course by intent, because we do not want to leak information to non-authorized parties. When it comes to APIs, you most certainly do not want to enter your username and password into, for example, Postman or any other tool that you have. That is just plain stupid. But Paneda has you covered. We also offer authorization using bearer tokens. A bearer token is basically a random string of data, and it says that whoever comes with this token will receive the permissions that are connected to the token. And we will generate this token using the normal web interface. So just go to your system and you can log in. I will log in as myself here. Here we are, and then we go to the profile page and we scroll down and we have these API tokens here. So we press the add token and then we can give it our token a name. So this is recommended to actually generate new and unique tokens for every application that you want to interface with us. Because if one token is compromised or something, you can discard that token and it will only affect the application that compromised your token in the first place. And let's try this, call it the demo token. And we can also give it access rights because, for example, my user has access to everything in the system. So when I'm logged in through the web interface, I can do everything. I can edit configurations, I can edit ensemble configuration, I can edit the contract, I can invite new users, and etc., etc., etc. But for example, if I'm writing a standalone monitoring application, I only want to read data. I never want to change it. So then I will just leave the token to read only. And if the token is in read only, then no one can do anything else with it. So if you click here, you can see that all the permissions in the systems is selectable. You can only select permissions that your user already have. So for some users, this list here will be considerably shorter. Let's just say that I want to be able to book service configurations and also edit them using this API. Then I click those permissions, and we click the Generate API token. So here is my token, and now it's a good idea to copy this and place it in your program, because it will never be shown again, and not even if we want to show it again, we can't, because it's not stored in plain text in our database. As per best practice, it's stored using one-way cryptographic hashes. So this is now or never. Let's copy it, Control C. And here's also a small text to describe how to use it, but I will demonstrate that. So let's go back to Postman. And we have the headers field here. So let's add a new key. This should be the authorization header, and with value, bearer, and then we paste our token. Now we send the request again, and voila, here they are. All the configurations in the system. Let's now look at one of them closer. Here we can see it's medium-sized configuration. So we have an array here of audio services, unique identifier, nothing to care about. We have the service reference, subchannel ID, protection type, the bitrate of the service. This is a normal DAB service. If you have 63 here, you have DAB+. Yeah. We have the audio source, the PUD source, audio mode, etc., etc. Label, flags to generate a short label, the PTI codes, etc., etc. So you have all the information for the service here. And yeah, so very easy to use. You get a list of them, and then you can query each configuration further. Now I thought that I should show you some status information. So that's why we was looking at the configuration first, because now we will look at the audio levels. So just so if you type just status and hit enter, you will get a list of all statuses that you can query the system. So just plug in audio levels, and we can see again here we have 4 blocks of data because we have 4 services. So you have the encoder name, subchannel ID, service ID, unique identifier again, and then you have the channels. So you have the 0 here is the left channel, and then you have the right channel. You can see the peak value for left and right, and for all of the services. And if you click again, you will get refreshed values, of course, because this is the instant values of the audio levels in the system. So if you want to build your own VAU meters and display them on a big screen, you can just query this API once every 2 seconds or something, and then you get it. What else do we have? We can check, we can retrieve logs from the system. That one. You see we have different types of logs. So let's check if the normal logs, maybe they are easiest to understand. Then we also type in a timestamp here. So you can, if you put in a timestamp, you will only get logs that are newer than this time. But I'm putting in 0, then I get all the logs from the last system reboot or something. And here we can see log objects. They are unfortunately base 64 encoded, so you need to do some processing here to actually read them. But the information is here if you like it. We can also check the the audio services, so we can get the status for each audio service. Then we have again this is an array of audio services, so you get plenty of those. So you can check the label, the source type. True here means that this particular audio service here is true. Status true here means that all audio services are okay. And you have the detailed status for each service. You can check the MUX input buffer, the encoder launcher, the audio level. So if, for example, the audio would go silent, then this audio level would be false, and you would get false for the service, and you would also get false here because one or more services have one or more error in them. So I think it's quite easy to use, and if we go back, you can also check the general system. We have a lot of status information about the system as well. And for example, NTP synchronization, yes, we are synchronized. We can see the details of each server here. So this one is the selected because it has a star. We can check the remote, reference ID, stratum level, the reach, for example, delay and offset, and everything. And we have the system memory, so you can see the free memory in the system. We have 1 gigabyte left, and we have a total of 1.8, so that's quite good. We can also check the memory consumption for each Paneda application. So we can see that all applications have a unique ID here, like this, and you can see the usage for each application. And then also the last activated configuration. Config name was this, and we can see that when it was activated and whether it was activated okay or not. So if this was false here, then you would get a string here, an error that would describe why it didn't activate as it should. So that's quite useful for error and troubleshooting. And you can also see that the scheduler is running and monitoring your schedule. And you can look up this yourself when you're playing with our system. Okay, so let's go back to the service configurations again. I think I miss. Oh yeah, status. So we can also, so we can see what the configurations we have, and we have this configuration called test here. Let's try and book the configuration test. So then we have a book here, and we will put in the name in the URL like that, but then we also need to change this to a put request because we are we're using put when we are updating an entry. So we go to the body, and this is something old stuff that's left. Let's put in, I think it's activation time, and we can put in now as shorthand. Let's run this and see what happens. It's not activation time. I have it in the history here. Date now. Okay. Do it like that and send. You can see configuration test successfully booked, and then you have the exact date when the configuration will be activated by the multiplexer. And you can see the response from the multiplexer as well. And yeah, this is the activation time, but in a less human readable format. more machine readable, so to speak. And if we now go to the status again, sorry, I need to change that to a get request, of course, and remove that one, like that. And now if we check, for example, the audio services again, we will see that this new configuration test only contains one audio service. So it appears to have worked. Well, that was what I was going to show you right now, but it's important to know that everything that you can do in the web GUI, you can also do via the API. So there's no magic behind the web GUI. We use this API ourselves when we are developing it. So you can rest assured that you can always do everything through the API if you want to. You just need to have a token with the appropriate access rights. So, for example, oh yeah, one more thing here. Always use HTTPS, of course, when you're using tokens, because you don't want to send your token in plain text over the internet. And if by chance you suspect that your token has been compromised or leaked, or, well, you don't need it anymore, always revoke it in the web GUI. Well, you can also revoke it using another token, of course, through the API. But let's check the web GUI here, and I will reload this page, and we can see that our demo token was last used 2 minutes ago. And so if we suspect that it has been compromised, we just press delete, and the token is deleted. If we go back to Postman and we run this query again, we will see invalid access token. So it's immediately revoked. And if you want to continue, maybe you want to just a read-only token this time, you can do so. Test read-only, create API token, and we plug it in again. Just change the token here, and we're good to go again. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you now have a little bit more clear picture about how the Paneda API works and how you can use it. And I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.